Hi folks, we've got the XW Wagon down at the workshop this weekend rather than trying to crawl around on the floor at home to do the exhaust. Now, going back on what we covered last time, it is a pre-Crossflow 250 out of an XB Falcon era vehicle, not the original 221 that this car was supposed to have had. It does have an old set of Lukey headers on it, and the exhaust system, although it wasn't blown out and fallen off the car, it did have a lot of rust. And when you look at an exhaust pipe, mild steel and even stainless, they have a seam where they've been welded when in manufacture, and the entire length of the car, that whole seam down through it on all the corners was pinholed and really tissue paper thin. You could poke your finger through it, and on any mandrel, when they bend through there, they always have a stretch, so that part of the steel through there is thinner than through there. So anywhere they neck down and reduce down when they bend, the metal rusted through just with condensation and age. Now, I've got the little human here with me this weekend, hopefully holding the camera so it's a bit steadier. Now we'll flip this around and run through the engine bay. Okay, so cast iron head pre-Crossflow log motor. I think when we did the numbers on the block, it comes up as an XB Falcon Fairlane era block. It has been recoat at one point because it had a reconditioner's tag on the back of the cylinder head and an early set of interference Lukey mild steel headers. So let's get underneath and have a look. Okay, so what we've done there, that's going to be the first of the bends for the exhaust leading into the muffler. So we had 245 mandrels and we've cut them through the center line, indexed them so they welded in nice and square. Now we've just got some temporary tacks. Now when you tack it, you want to leave a small air gap between the two pipes to allow for expansion and contraction when you're welding, and it won't pull it off center. So that's solid. We'll try it in the car and see if it's where it needs to be before we fully weld it. Okay, so for the first 90-degree cut that we're going to take out of that 180-degree mandrel, I don't know, you can just eyeball it. I can sometimes run a strip of just paper around it so it loops over, and then mark it with your Sharpie and it'll give you something to cut on. Although that looks like the paper moved and that one's crooked, so I'll wipe it off and start again. So what we're going to do is cut through the center line of the curve so we get a straight 90, and it's going to come out of the headers, turn to the passenger side of the car, cross, and then the other half of the 90 is going to be turned to go down the length of the passenger side of the car. So I'll go make this line straight and cut it, and we'll get back to it. Okay, so we've got our two 90s cut out of that 180-degree bend. Now, that seam there is the seam that's on all the pipe that you're going to get. That I'm going to try and make sure that when we cut the bends and we put them into place is going to be on the top side. so that way condensation and stuff's not laying on top of it, because that seems to be the first point they go all the time. So if we do that, hopefully it might not rust through on the seams as quick as it did last time. So we're going to get this first one in, tack it in, and go from there. Okay guys, well, the batteries in the phone went dead, so we missed a lot of recording through the middle, but at the end of the day, we've got the two mufflers mounted, and we've got them connected up to the 2-bolt flange on the extractor. So the front primary side of the exhaust is done, and it's neat enough and it's tucked up high enough. Probably just have to do something with the handbrake spring, return spring. It's quite a long one and it's starting to sag down on top of the exhaust, but if that rattles too much, we'll just try and tie that up. So next week we'll get in and make the tailpipes. I'll remember to have the phone charged fully this time. My bad. All right. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Okay, so how's everybody going? Finally got a charged up phone, and we had a couple of minutes spare this afternoon to get a bit of a head start on the tailpipes. So this is the driver's side, pretty much tacked up, ready to go in and cleared. So what we've got is 180-degree mandrel that we split in half for a pair of 90s to give us the turn-ups coming out of the back of the mufflers. We then ran that into a pair of 180s that were cut back just away from the center part of the arc to a straight, bringing it out to the other side of the rail, and a 45 cut just back from center to turn it and send it straight to the back of the car, with the rear hanger and a little 90-degree short radius turn down to dump it just behind the bumper. So now all we have to do is try and repeat that fairly similarly on this side, with a dirty big fuel tank in the way and the filler neck there that I didn't account for on the other side. My bad. But hangers all mounted up and ready to go. Here we go. Okay, so what we've got is our outlet coming from the muffler, the extension up to hoop up and over the diff, tacked in so it misses the fuel line, the fuel tank and the floor. And we've just put a mark on the index up there where we're going to want to cut it, and that's where we're going to shoot the pipe out straight from there to go underneath the left-hand chassis rail. We'll bring it over to the bench. Okay, so our hoop going up over the top of the diff has been cut. That's where it comes out of the muffler, and the piece that came off of it, if it works out the same as the driver's side, will then become our turn down tip for the end. All right, now let's put it back up in there and make the piece to join in between. Pretty much the same. Maybe. Okay. Or joining those two together. Maybe. Does that get better? So we've got our next cut marked. Get that out. Get it shortened up and get the next bend in. Okay, so what we've got there is a pair of 45s. One I left full length, one I shortened right up to the edge of the straight curve, where the straight met the curve. And now they've been tacked together relatively straight. And now what that's going to do is give us the dip to go under the, under the fuel filler to the fuel tank. And that'll keep going back up to the piece coming off the muffler, and then this will lead out to the hanger and the 90-degree tip off the end. Let's get it up in the car and see if it goes close to fitting. Okay, so we're finished. 2¼ inch twin system Proflow chamber mufflers, up, over and out the back. They're tucked up in behind the bumper. And doesn't really have any kind of a drone, no rattles, and so far no leaks. So, alright. I don't know if these dodgy little Amazon microphones will pick any of that sound up, probably not. It's actually quite mellow and not really all that loud, which is good for a Wagon. Alright, thanks guys, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.